All right. I wonder if he keeps joining. But anything and everything we're be on. Cool. No, like really, really cool. All right. Welcome back to Two Seater and Storytime with Two Seater. This is the fourth edition where we're reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid, a nostalgic classic. And we're, oh gosh, almost done. If you can see that. This is what's left on this side. And yeah, let's just get right into it. Actually, I don't think we're going to finish. So we may still have a Q&A session tomorrow, but I guess we'll just see. Let's get into it. January, Wednesday. I found a way to have some fun with the big wheel Rowley got me for Christmas. I came up with this game where one guy rides down the hill and the other guy tries to knock him off with a football. Rowley was the first one down the hill and I was the thrower. It was a lot harder to hit a moving target than I thought, plus I didn't get a lot of practice. It took Rowley like 10 minutes to walk the big wheel back up the hill after every trip down. Rowley kept asking to switch places and have me be the one who rides the big wheel, but I'm no fool. That thing was hitting 35 miles an hour and it didn't have any brakes. No thanks, I'm not as good as you. I don't need a turn. Anyway, I never did knock Rowley off the big wheel today, but I guess I have something to work at over the rest of Christmas vacation. Thursday. I was heading up to Rowley's today to play our big wheel game again, but Mom said I had to finish my Christmas thank yous before I went out anywhere. I thought I could just crank out my thank you cards in half an hour, but when it came to actually writing them, my mind went blank. Let me tell you, it's not easy writing thank you notes to stuff you didn't want in the first place. I started with the non-clothes items because I thought they'd be easiest, but after two or three cards, I realized I was practically writing the same thing every time. So I wrote up a general form on the computer with blanks for the things I needed to change. Writing the cards from there was a breeze. Dear Aunt Linda, thank you so much for the awesome encyclopedia. How did you know I wanted that for Christmas? I love the way the encyclopedia looks on my shelf. All of my friends will be so jealous that I have my very own encyclopedia. Thank you for making this the best Christmas ever. Sincerely, Greg. My system worked out pretty well for the first couple of gifts, but after that, not so much. I'll show you the first one. That's pretty darn funny. My system worked out pretty well for the first couple of gifts, but after that, not so much. Dear Aunt Loretta, thank you so much for the awesome pants. How did you know I wanted pants for Christmas? I love the way the pants look on my legs. All of my friends will be so jealous that I have my own very own pants. Thank you for making the best Christmas ever. Sincerely, Greg. Finally, Friday. I finally knocked Rowley off the big wheel today, but it didn't happen the way I expected. I was trying to hit him in the shoulder, but I missed, and the football went under the front tire. Oh my. Going 35 miles an hour. Rowley tried to break his fall by sticking out his arms, but he landed pretty hard on his left hand. I tried to cheer him up, but all the jokes that usually crack him up weren't working, so I knew he must be hurt pretty bad. Hey, look at me. I'm your dad. Dar, dar, dar. I guess it kind of worked. Monday. Christmas vacation is over, and now we're back at school. And you remember Riley's big wheel accident? Well, he broke his hand, and now he has to wear a cast. And today, everyone was crowding around him like he was a hero or something. Does it still hurt? A little, I guess. Oh, you poor thing. I tried to cash in on some Riley's new popularity, but it totally backfired. I'm the one who broke his hand. You meanie. At lunch, a bunch of girls invited Riley over to their table so they could feed him. What really ticks me off about that is that Riley is right-handed, and it's his left hand that's broken, so he can feed himself just fine. Tuesday, I realized Riley's injury thing is a pretty good racket, so I decided it was time for me to have an injury of my own. I took some gauze from home and I wrapped up my hand to make it look like it was hurt. It's a raging infection caused by a splinter that was left untreated. If the girls' faces don't explain it, that's disgusting and no one wants to hear that. I could figure out why the girls weren't swarming me like they swarmed Raleigh, but then I realized what the problem was. See, the cast is a great gimmick because everyone wants to sign their name on it, but it's not exactly easy to sign a gauze with a pen. So I came up with a solution that I thought was just as good. Would you like to be the first one to sign my sympathy sheet? I hate that. That idea was a total bust, too. My bandage did end up attracting attention from a couple people, but believe me, they were not the type of people I was going for. Can I peek at your infection? Go away. Monday. Last week we started the third quarter at school, so now I have a whole bunch of new classes. One of the classes I signed up for is called Independent Study. I wanted to sign up for Home Economics too because I was pretty good at Home Ec 1. But being good at sewing does not exactly buy you popularity points at school. Hey, look, Greg has a purse. Actually, it's an imported bag. Okay, Percy. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. Depending on how you did it, it could be masculine. Anyway, this independent study thing is an experiment they're trying out at our school for the first time. The idea is that the class gets assigned a project and then you have to work on it with no teacher in the room for the whole quarter. Oh, wow. The catch is that when you're done, everybody in your group gets the same grade. I found that Ricky Fisher is in my class, which could be a big problem. Ricky's big claim to fame is that he'll pick the gum off the bottom of a desk and chew it if you pay him 50 cents. So I didn't really have high hopes for our final grade. Bruh, 50 cents? No standards whatsoever. Bruh. Tuesday. Today we got our independent study assignment, and guess what it is? We have to build a robot. Oh my. At first, everybody kind of freaked out because we thought we were going to have to build the robot from scratch. But Mr. Darnell told us we don't have to build an actual robot. We just need to come up with ideas for what our robot might look like and what kinds of things it would be able to do. Then he left the room, and we were on our own. We started brainstorming right away. I broke down a bunch of ideas on the blackboard. The robot would do my homework, do the dishes, make my breakfast, brush my teeth. Yo, Greg looks really happy about that one. He looks really happy about that idea. Everybody was pretty impressed with my ideas, but it was easy to come up with them. All I did was write down all the things I hate doing myself. Okay. But a couple of the girls got up to the front of the room and they had some ideas of their own. They erased my list and drew up their own plan. Oh, I hate this. They wanted to invent a robot that could give you dating advice and have 10 types of lip gloss on its fingers. All us guys thought this was the stupidest idea we ever heard, so we ended up splitting into two groups, girls and boys. The girls went to the other side of the room while the boys went to the other side of the room while the girls stood around talking. Now that we have all the serious workers in one place, we got to work. Someone had the idea that you can say your name to the robot and it can say it back to you. Hi, Bob. It is very nice to meet you, Bob. But then someone else pointed out that you shouldn't be able to use bad words for your name because the robot shouldn't be able to curse. So we decided to come up with a list of all the bad words the robot shouldn't be able to say. We came up with all the regular bad words, then Ricky Fisher came up with 20 more, and the rest of us hadn't even heard of them before. That's Ricky Fisher. Everyone else is just stunned. So Ricky ended up being one of the most valuable contributions of this project. Right before the bell rang, Mr. Darnell came back in the room to check our progress. He picked up the piece of paper we were writing on and read it over. To make a long story short, independent study is canceled for the rest of the year. Well, at least it is for us boys. So if the robots in the future are going around with cherry lip gloss for fingers, at least now you know how it all got started. Thursday. In school today, they had a general assembly and showed the movie It's Great to Be Me, which they show us every year. The movie is all about how you should be happy with who you are and not change anything about yourself. To be honest with you, I think that's a really dumb message to be telling kids, especially the ones at my school. It's great to be me. Later on, they made an announcement there are some openings on the safety patrols, and that got me thinking. If someone picks on a safety patrol, it can get them suspended. The way I figure it, I can use any extra protection I can get. Plus, I realize that maybe being in a position of authority could be good for me. Can we please cross the street now? Nope. But we've been standing here for an hour. I went down to Mr. Winsky's office and signed myself up, and I got Raleigh to sign up too. I thought Mr. Winsky would make us do a bunch of chin-ups or jumping jacks or something to prove that we were up for the job, but he just handed us our belts and badges on the spot. Mr. Winsky said the openings were for a special assignment. Our school is right next to the elementary school, and they've got a half-day kindergarten there. He wants us to walk the morning session kids home in the middle of the day. I realized that meant we would miss 20 minutes of pre-algebra. Riley must have figured that out too because he started to speak up, but I gave him a wicked punch underneath the desk before we could finish his sentence. But we would miss yowie. Riley would say yowie. I couldn't believe my luck. I was getting instant bully protection and a free pass from half of pre-algebra. It's noon, I don't know why I'm yawning. And I didn't even have to lift a finger. Tuesday. Today was our first day at safety patrols. Me and Riley don't technically have stations like all the other patrols, so that means we don't have to stand out in the freezing cold for an hour before school. But that didn't stop us from coming to the cafeteria for free hot chocolate they hand out to the other patrols before homeroom. It's kind of nice. Another great perk is that you get to show up 10 minutes late for first period. Hello. There's them getting the hot chocolate. There's Greg cruising in the class 10 minutes late. It's kind of a beast. Kind of a beast. I'm telling you, I've got it made with this safety patrol thing. At 12:15, me and Raleigh left school and walked the kindergartners up home. The whole trip ate up 45 minutes. There were only 20 minutes of pre-algebra left when we got back. Walking the kids home was no sweat, but one of the kindergartners started to smell a little funny, and I think he may have had an accident in his pants. Bruh, he tried to let me know about it, but I just stared straight ahead and kept walking. I'll take these kids home, but believe me, I didn't sign up for any diaper duty. There's them walking the kids home and the kid who just peed his pants. Hopefully, just that. February, Wednesday. Today it snowed for the first time this winter, and school was canceled. We're supposed to have a test in pre-algebra, and I kind of slacked off ever since I became safety patrol. So I was psyched. I called Raleigh and told him to come over. Me and him have been talking about building the world's biggest snowman for the past couple years now. And when I say the world's biggest snowman, I'm not kidding. Our goal is to get into the world's Guinness Book of World Records. There's the picture of what they imagine it'll look like. It's as tall as a 2-story building. But every time we've gotten serious about going for the record, all the snow has melted, and we've missed our window of opportunity. So this year I wanted to get started right away. When Rowley came over, we started rolling the first snowball to make the base. I figured the base was going to have to be at least 8 feet tall on its own if we wanted to have a shot at breaking the record. But the snowball got real heavy, and we had to take a bunch of breaks in between rolls so we could catch our breath. During one of our breaks, Mom came outside to go to the grocery store, but our snowball was blocking her car, so we got a little free labor out of her. Bruh, they made the mom push the snowball. After our break, me and Rowley pushed that snowball until we couldn't push it any farther. But when we looked behind us, we saw the mess we had made. The snowball had gotten so heavy that it tore up the sod Dad had just laid down this fall. Ooh. Sod is like carpet, but it's grass, so you put it in and then it just grows. I was hoping it would snow for a few more inches and cover up our tracks, but just like that, it stopped snowing. Our plan was to build the world's biggest snowman was starting to fall apart, so I came up with a better idea for our snowball. Every time it snows, the kids from Worley Street use our hill for sledding, even though this isn't their neighborhood. I hate them. So for tomorrow morning, when the Worley Street kids come marching on our hill, me and Riley are going to teach those guys a lesson. Yo! There's Greg and Rowley, and then there's the kids. That's a big hill, though, if it's drawn accurately. Thursday, when I woke up this morning, the snow was already starting to melt, so I told Rowley to hurry up and get down to my house. When I was waiting for Rowley to show up, I watched Manny trying to build a snowman out of the piddly crumbs of snow that were left over from our snowball. It was actually kind of pathetic. Well, at that point, he's just being a kid. Leave him alone. Obviously not Greg. I really couldn't help doing what I did next. Unfortunately for me, right at that moment, Dad was at the front window. Punt. Dad was already mad at me for tearing up the sod, so I knew I was in for it. I heard the garage door open and I saw Dad coming outside. He marched right out carrying a snow shovel, and I thought I was going to have to make a run for it. But Dad was heading for my snowball, not for me. In less than a minute, he reduced all our hard work to nothing. Rowley came by a few minutes later, and I thought he might actually get a kick out of what happened. But I guess he had his heart set on rolling that snowball down the hill, and he was really mad. But get this, Rowley was mad at me for what Dad did. I told Rowley he was being a big baby, and we got in a shoving match. Right when it looked like we were going to get in an all-out fight, we got ambushed from the street. Rowley being sad. There's the ambush out of nowhere. It was a hit and run by the Worley Street kids. I hate them. Just like, go to your own house, please. Thank you. And if Mrs. Levine, my English teacher, was there, I'm sure she would have said the whole situation was ironic. Wednesday, today at school, they announced there's an opening for the cartoonist job in school paper. There's only one comic slot up until now, and this kid named Brian Little has been hogging it all to himself. Brian has this comic called Wacky Dog, and when it started off, it was actually pretty funny. But lately, Brian's been using his strip to handle his personal business. I guess that's why they gave him the axe. Wacky Dog by Brian Little. Hey, Wacky Dog, say something funny. Actually, I have something serious on my mind today. Susan Lim, if you are reading this, Brian is very sorry he kissed your best friend Rachel behind the lockers. He hopes he can find it in your heart to forgive him. P.S. Barry Palmer, you still owe Brian $5, you bum. Oh my gosh. That comic came out of nowhere. Ooh. Hold on. My sister asked me what I want from this fast food place. I swear I don't have it. And if I do, you can't get it through watching my live, so you're fine. As soon as I heard the news, I knew I had to try out Wacky Dog. Try out. Wacky Dog made Brian Little a celebrity at our school, and I wanted to get in on some of that fame. I had a taste of what it was like to be famous at my school when I won an honorable mention this anti-smoking contest they had. All I did was trace a picture from one of Roderick's heavy metal magazines, but luckily, no one ever found out. Don't That's kind of respect that not that he copied something, but that, you know, he tried. The kid who won first place is named Chris Carney, and what kind of ticks me off is that Chris smokes at least a pack of cigarettes a day. Don't smoke, it's a joke. Uh, Thursday, me and Raleigh decided to team up and do a cartoon together. So after school today, he came over to my house and we got to work. We banged out a bunch of characters really quick, but that turned out to be the easy part. When we tried to think of some jokes, we kind of hit a wall. I finally came up with a good situation and made up a cartoon where the punchline of every strip is Zooey Mama. That way, we wouldn't get bogged down with having to write actual jokes. We could concentrate on the pictures. For the first couple strips, I did the writing and drew the characters, and Raleigh drew the boxes around the pictures. Step on a crack, break your mama's back. Yeah, right. Hey, Timmy, your mother slipped on a banana peel, and P.S. She's dead. Zooey Mama. What a classic. That's a classic moment right there. Raleigh started complaining that he didn't have enough to do, so I let him write a few of the strips. But to be honest with you, there was a pretty obvious drop in quality once Raleigh started doing the writing. I have been waiting 3 hours to get a hamburger. Finally, one hamburger, please. I'm sorry, sir. We are all sold out. Faint. Zooey Mama. Wow. The drop in quality is very prevalent. Eventually, I got kind of sick of the Zooey Mama idea, and I pretty much let Raleigh take over the whole operation. And believe it or not, Raleigh's drawing skills are worse than his writing skills. Oops, I stepped in a puddle. At least it's not an acid puddle. Ay, ay, ay. It is an acid puddle. Squirrel says, Zooey Mama. Yes, I'm using my phone behind the book. Wow, Dom, that's a ton of protein in your smoothie, but I'm kind of live right now. That's what he gets for not watching. I told Raleigh maybe we should come up with some new ideas, but he just wanted to keep writing Zooey Mamas. Then he packed up his comics and went home, which was fine by me. I don't really want to be partnered up with a kid who doesn't draw noses anyway. Friday. After Raleigh left yesterday, I really got to work on some comics. I came up with this character called Creighton the Creighton, and I got on a roll. Creighton the Creighton by Greg Heffley. Hi, my name's Creighton. No, it isn't. Your name is Stuart Pidd. Oops. Hi, I'm Stupid. Har har har. That's actually pretty good. Come on. For a middle school paper, that's solid. I must have banged out 20 strips and I didn't even break a sweat. Here's the comic. I wonder what is in this cute little box. That's not a box, it's a brick, you dumb moron. Oops, I have been trying to open it all day. Doctor, could I have a new butt? My old one has a crack in it. Creighton, I told you a million times, every butt has a crack in it. Oh yeah, I forgot. That's 2 strips. The great thing about these Creighton the Creighton comics that with all the idiots running around my school, I will never run out of new material. Damn. When I got to school today, I took my comics to Mr. Ira's office. He's the teacher who runs the school newspaper. But when I went to turn in my strips, I saw that there were a pile of comics from other kids who were trying out for the job. Most of them are pretty bad, so I wasn't too worried about the competition. Here's one of the ones in the stack called Girls Rule by Tabitha Cutter and Lisa Russell. Don't walk near our lunch table, Tyler Green. Yeah, you're not even cute. Trip. Ah, girls rule. Here's another one called Extreme Skaters. I'm gonna do this rad jump. Yo, dude, watch out for that telephone wire. Whatever. Here I go. His head gets sliced off, falls to the floor. I'm sure glad I wore my helmet. The end. That's solid. Are you kidding me? That's solid. He rides down, his head gets cut off by the telephone wire. That's solid. One of the comics was called Dumb Teachers and was written by this kid named Bill Tritt. Bill is always in detention, so I guess he has a bone to pick with just about every teacher in the school, including Mr. Ira. So I'm not too worried about the chances of Bill's comics getting in either. Hey, Mr. Ira, you pooped your pants again. Nuh-uh. Yeah. Stink lines from the poop. Blech. I can't tell if that's his butt or the poop sticking out. Why did I say that? Okay. There were actually one or two decent comics in the bin, but I slipped them under a pile of paperwork on Mr. Ira's desk. Hopefully those ones don't turn up until I'm in high school. Today, during the morning announcements, I got the news I was hoping for. And the cartoonist for this school paper is Greg Heffley. The paper came out today at lunch and everyone was reading it. I really wanted to pick up a copy to see my name in print, but I decided to just play it cool for a while instead. I sat at the end of the lunch table so there would be plenty of room for me to start signing autographs for my new fans, but nobody was coming over to tell me how great my comic was, and I started to get the feeling something was wrong. I grabbed the paper and went into the bathroom to check it out, and when I saw my comic, I practically had a heart attack. Mr. Ira told me he had made some minor edits to my comic. I thought he just meant he fixed spelling mistakes and stuff like that, but he totally butchered it. The comic he ruined was one of my favorite ones, too. In the original, Creighton the Crane is taking a math test and he accidentally eats it. And then the teacher yells at him for being such a moron. By the time Mr. Ira was done with it, you practically couldn't recognize it as the same strip. Here's the edited version. Teacher, if x plus 43 equals 89, then what would x be? Creighton, x would be 46. Thanks. Kids, if you want to learn more about math, be sure to visit Mr. Humphrey during his office hours or visit the library and check out the newly expanded math and science. Dude, the breaking of the fourth wall or whatever it is in some of these comics is so funny. It's obviously nothing like it. There's no punchline. I mean, the teacher saying stuff would be the punchline, I guess, but it's so funny. So I'm pretty sure I won't be signing autographs anytime soon. Teacher's pet. March, Wednesday. Me and Riley were enjoying our hot chocolate in the cafeteria with the rest of the patrols today. And there was an announcement on the loudspeaker. Riley Jefferson, report to Mr. Winsky's office immediately. Riley went down to Mr. Winsky's office, and when Riley came back 15 minutes later, he looked pretty shaken up. Apparently, Mr. Winsky got a call from a parent who said they witnessed Riley terrorizing the kindergartners when he was supposed to be walking them home from school. And Mr. Winsky was really mad about it. Riley said Mr. Winsky yelled at him for about 10 minutes and said his actions disrespected the badge. You know, I think I might just know what this is all about. Last week, Riley had to take a quiz during fourth period, so I walked the kindergartners home on my own. It had rained that morning and there were a lot of worms on the sidewalk, so I decided to have some fun with the kids. Eek! He chased the kids with a worm on a stick. But some neighborhood lady saw what I was doing and she yelled at me from her porch. It was Mrs. Irvine, who is friends with Raleigh's mom. She must have thought I was Raleigh because I was borrowing his coat, and I wasn't about to correct her either. Raleigh Jefferson, the principal is going to hear about this. Yes, ma'am. Don't care. I forgot about the whole incident until today. Anyway, Mr. Winsky told Raleigh he's going to have to apologize to the kindergartners tomorrow morning and that he's suspended from patrols for a week. Oh no. I knew I should probably just tell Mr. Winsky it was me who chased the kids with the worms, but I wasn't ready to set the record straight just yet. I knew if I confessed, I'd lose my hot chocolate privileges. And that right there was enough to make me keep quiet for the time being. At dinner tonight, Mom could tell something was bothering me, so she came up to my room afterward to talk. I told her I was in a tough situation and I didn't know what to do. I gotta give Mom credit for how she handled it. She didn't try to pry and get all the details. All she said was that I should try to do the right thing because it's our choices that make us who we are. Wow, that's very wise advice. I love it. I figure that's pretty decent advice. but I'm still not 100% sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. It's because Greg's stupid. Thursday, well, I was up all night tossing and turning over this rally situation, but I finally made up my mind. I decided the right thing to do was just let Raleigh take for the team this time around. I'm sorry I terrorized you children. That's Raleigh apologizing to the kids, who were all confused because Raleigh wasn't there. On the way home from school, I came clean with Raleigh and told him the whole truth about what happened and how it was me who chased the kids with the worms. Then I told him there were lessons we could both learn from this. I told him I learned to be more careful about what I do in front of Mrs. Irvine's house, and that he learned a valuable lesson too, which is this: be careful about who you lend your code to. I guess this had to be a learning experience for both of us. To be honest with you, my message didn't seem to be getting through to Rowley. We were supposed to hang out after school today, but he said he was just going to go home and take a nap. I couldn't really blame him, because if I didn't have my hot chocolate this morning, I wouldn't have that much energy either. When I got home, Mom was waiting for me at the front door. Did you do the right thing? Yeah. Mom took me out to get some ice cream as a special treat. And what this whole episode has taught me is that every once in a while, it's not such a bad idea to listen to your mother. There was another announcement on the loudspeaker today, and to be honest with you, I kind of figured this one was coming. Greg Heffley, please report to Mr. Winsky's office. Oh my. I knew it was just a matter of time before I got busted for what happened last week. When I got to Mr. Winsky's office, he was really mad. Mr. Winsky told me that an anonymous source had informed him that I was the real culprit in the worm chasing incident. Then he told me I was relieved of my safety patrol duties, effective immediately. Well, it doesn't take a detective to figure out that the anonymous source was Rowley, because he was the only one he told. I can't believe Rowley went and backstabbed me like that. While I was sitting there getting chewed out by Mr. Winsky, I was thinking I need to remember to give my friend a lecture about loyalty. Later today, Rowley got reinstated as a patrol, and get this, he actually got a promotion. Mr. Winsky said Rowley had exhibited dignity under false suspicion. Sure, whatever the heck you want, Rowley. Jagger, hi. Yeah, this is a great book. I'm so surprised we actually got this far. Kilua, nice. Okay. I thought about letting Rowley have it for ratting me out like that, but then I realized something. In June, all the officers in the safety patrols got on a trip to Six Flags, and they get to take along one friend. I need to make sure Rowley knows I'm his guy. Tuesday. Like I said before, the worst part of getting kicked off safety patrols is losing your hot chocolate privileges. Every morning I got to the back door of the cafeteria so Rowley could hook me up. But either my friend has gone deaf or he's too busy kissing the other officers' butts to notice me at the window. In fact, now that I think of it, Rowley has been totally giving me the cold shoulder lately, and that's really lame because if I recall correctly, he's the one that sold me out. Dude, I know. Even though Rowley has been a total jerk lately, I tried to break the ice with him today anyway, but even that didn't seem to work. Hi, pal. I'm glad. I hope my voice is relaxing enough so people can listen to this in the background of things. Yeah, so I actually have some stuff to do today, and we're stopping right here. There is, oh gosh, that much left. We'll finish it tomorrow and probably have a little bit of time for question and answer, but we're almost at the end of everyone's favorite American classic, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So, in conclusion, this has been episode 4 of Storytime with Two Seater. Have a good one.